Hi, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Misguided Salon Series. I am your host, Paul Gosselin, creator of the web series Misguided, and today I will be joined in conversation with my dear friend, Laura Ashley Foster. Laura has been pivotal in the series Misguided. She is the first person I share a script with once it's completed, and she has usually been the first person I share a rough copy of an episode when it is edited. I value her feedback, and I just think it makes the most sense to have her as my first guest in this salon series. So, without further ado, here is our episode. Well, here we are, and I would like to thank you, Laura Ashley Foster, for joining me on the first ever Misguided Salon series.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be the tester.
Well, I mean, I couldn't think of anyone else because I feel like you have been there for every step of the Misguided process, and you've been like the first person that has seen a script. You've seen like bits and pieces when editing things. So like this just made sense that the first person I would have on this would be you. So why don't
I know, and I'm
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm nervous because I have to I know what's coming up in the new season, so I have to be very careful not to give any spoilers.
Don't worry,
but I won't. I'll
edit it out. Don't worry. So if you do, like we'll just
you can edit it right out.
or I'll just like boot you from the room and you'll just never exist again.
Yeah, or just mute me. You can just like talk over me, just make something else up.
Yes. Okay. So why don't we tell people first how we came to be and how we met and our origin story, if you will.
Yes, this is one of my favorite stories. So we both went to school at the time it was called the School for Film and Television. Now it is called the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts in Manhattan.
May I ask real quickly, when people ask you where you went to school, what do you usually say?
I say the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts.
Okay, I do the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. So we were I was in the dorm one night. We had this fantastic dorm right off of Ground Zero. It's not even there anymore. They've torn it down and built something taller, but I was sitting right outside my door making a soap opera scrapbook because I was a big fan of All My Children. And our mutual friend Brianna, hi Bri if you're watching, brought Paul to my door because she knew that he was also a soap fan, and he lived on, I think, with the 9th floor.
Good.
He was a floor above me. I was on the 8th floor. And so then, from there, the friendship was born. And the real reason that he was brought to my door, I'm convinced, is because I was making Brianna get up at the crack of dawn every Wednesday when we were out of school and dragging her to stand in the standby line of The View, like the Barbara Walters show, The View, way on back in there. And because you could get free tickets and it was awesome. You would see celebrities, they would give you free stuff a lot of the time. And as a college student, you're all into free stuff to do. And a lot of the time you would see soap stars because All My Children filmed at the same studio as The View. So that was my real reason to go. But as soon as she introduced me to Paul, we became fast friends over our love of soaps and our mutual love of Rebecca Budig, who had also been on his favorite show, Guiding Light. And from there, we started going to The View every single Wednesday morning, and some other mornings, if we had other days off, we would go there. And so we frequented that show quite a few times. I think it was 27 at last count, just that one like half year.
Yeah.
They got.
Yeah, unfortunately, remember I had to stop because I did my internship at Soap Opera Weekly, and literally the only day I had off was Wednesdays. So it was either you or work at Internet Soap Opera Weekly. And I was like, well, I could sort of advance.
It was a good reason to stop. Yep. So
it was a lot of fun. I mean, I had
it was fun. It was a fun season.
So, it was pre-Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Yeah.
It was pre-Rosie. Like Rosie came on like towards the end of that journey.
Yeah. It was it was way on back there. And it was Was Elizabeth not on at the time? I was thinking Elizabeth.
No, they were doing
the guest people. They were
rotating
trying
guests before her.
That's true. Yeah, it was a great time.
Rebecca had done a couple, and people thought she
was.
Yeah,
we ended up in the seat. Ugh, good times. But yeah, nothing was more exciting than us being there. A lot of the time they would, because we were there so often, they would bring us down to sit in like the second row, and we felt like we were really big stuff. And then they would come out and they would be like, "Hey, so and so's out today, so we have Rebecca Budding filling in for her today." And I was always like, "Yeah!" Because that was always the goal, is that we would be there on a day that Rebecca was there, and it happened frequently.
Yes. So what was nice is because we would do the standby line. So we would stand outside, and then they were like, here's your number. Go eat breakfast and come back.
Yeah.
So you go to what Mama's Famous or something?
Yes. We went to Mama's Famous. It was such a good restaurant. And I think now it's a Trump building. But at the time, it was a very old, delicious, one of the best places in New York. You get true Italian or breakfast that was out of this world. It was so good. And this is also how we got to be such great friends, because we had hours on Wednesday morning before we would find out if we even were going to get into the view, of either standing outside the studio just waiting to get a number, or going to breakfast and killing time before we had to be back. And that's where we would talk about things. The funny thing is, and I think you're is that we would talk all these hours, and yet we still were mostly talking about soaps and not about our real life. Do you want to take the rest of the story?
Go for it.
One thing we were talking about. We were sitting with Brianna, with our mutual friend, and we were talking to her, and Paul said something about having a sister. And I was like, "You have a sister?" And he was like, "Yeah, I have." And I still don't know that I'm great on these numbers. Is it like 3 sisters and 2 brothers? There are 6 of you, right?
Reverse. But yes, it's
okay.
2 sisters and 3 brothers.
Yeah. And the reason that I still don't know this very well is because, even though I've met, I feel like, both sisters, we were having all these hours together, and Brie was like, "I knew how many siblings he has. What do you guys talk about for all those hours?" We were like, "I don't know, the shows, there's all these years of soaps to talk about. We haven't gotten to our personal lives yet."
Why would we talk about them? There's more important things, right?
Whatever. So
I will say I couldn't remember if it was Brianna or I thought it was our friend Christina, but either one was very shocked that we didn't.
There's no telling. There's no telling. But yeah, they were like, "What do you guys talk about?"
Exactly. So yep. So that's our origin story. College buddies who both love soaps, wanted to be soap stars, and enjoying New York City at a really interesting and fun time in our lives.
I know. So much fun.
So now fast forward. So let's get into Misguided for a second. So I had this weird idea to create a web series about wanting to be a soap star. And my initial thought was, I don't know how to write anything. And you have transitioned more from actor to writer to director, and doing the multi-hyphenate, which is great, and very much a role model for me. So when I was writing and trying to figure out, I was like, "Laura, what do I do? And does this make sense? And how does this structure work? Do I outline? I don't know character development in this way." And you have been so good at guiding me in the right direction, I think, in how these scripts should form and go. And I think there was a storyline that I had in the series where you were so pivotal, because I was like, I need something to happen to me to hallucinate, essentially, to see Susan Cucci. And I was like, I wonder, how can I make it so that Stephanie attempts to drug me, but doesn't really drug me? She does it more by accident. And that was your idea.
That's so funny. I remember our conversation, but I totally don't remember that being. I don't doubt it.
Take that credit.
Because I know throughout the series I've been like, what if this happened? Because it's been just such a fun ride all the way along, and anything could happen. I mean, you've been so good to just take it wherever, just really push it to the limits, that it's always been fun to pitch these crazy ideas. And plenty of them you have not taken, because they are legitimately crazy, but it's so much fun that you did take that one. And then I believe I took it a step further, because if I'm not mistaken, you were getting ready for filming and you needed a blender.
Yes.
he needed a blender for the smoothie. And Paul has been babysitting some of my items. I was supposed to move out there a few years ago. Some things happened. It didn't happen quite as planned. So he's still holding on to some stuff until I can get myself out there. But one of those items was one of the Ninja blenders.
Mhm.
And I was like, Paul, I can tell you which box to go get that out of. And so he ran and got that. And so now my little Ninja blender is Misguided famous. So yeah.
There's also, I don't know if you knew, you've helped us with another prop, and I don't know if you remember it.
I don't remember, but remind me.
When Jackie pops in, she comes to visit as Mo, my mom. Her luggage piece is your zebra suitcase.
My zebra suitcase, and it's my is that my sewing machine case, I think is what that's
I think that's
but yeah, it's like a rolling, yeah, that's hysterical. Yeah, I'd totally forgotten about that, but that's so funny. Yeah, he's got there are other props that may come out at some point from the prop closet.
That's what I call it now. It's my prop closet.
Yeah, right, it works.
So I think what I would love the show to do is sort of give, when I talk to cast members about Misguided, talk about their filming experience, give a little bit more humanity to our relationships and who we are as people outside of the series, but also we don't get to have these types of conversations while we're filming because we are all work. And our filming days are not even full days. Like I feel like there's been days where it was like 3 hours and we were just done, and then we left. And so we don't really have these conversations. And I would love to develop these relationships outside of the series and then like continue to obviously form them within the series as well. So I'll be talking about what their filming experiences are like, if they have a favorite scene. So I was wondering if you, I know you're not in it per se, but you've seen a lot of stuff done. Is there a scene that you love? Maybe you've read it in the script once and then maybe envision it a different way, but when you saw it, it was like, oh, that's great, or whatever. It could be whatever.
I mean, I have so many of these, so you're gonna have to just insert like a 20-minute clip here of all the scenes. But really, for me, I'm a sucker for anything that turns comedic, especially if it's not expected, or if you have like a really great actor, and you have so many fantastic actors that you know, from reading the script to then seeing it on screen, some of my favorite were some hysterical moments with Jackie, Yvette, oh gosh, there was one last season that was fantastic. Stephanie has done some hysterical stuff. So all of the comedic moments were just absolutely my favorite. The waitress, all of the waitress stuff from last season was some of my like favorite.
Can I help you, Anne?
Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you the specials.
Okay.
Well, not exactly the specials on the menu, but I just, you know, Doyle, my new boss. Well, I think he's really special, and he thinks that you're really special. So I think that you two really special guys should give it a shot. You know, I'm a hopeless romantic, so. What can you say?
Well, I mean, I did think he was kind of interested. I'm just not looking to date anyone right now. I mean, I kind of have amnesia.
You kind of have amnesia. Kind of have amnesia. But doesn't that affect the mind, not the heart? Come on, trust me. When you find a good guy, you hold on to him. Especially if his ex-wife, the mother of his children, his soulmate, rises from the dead, you hold on to him even tighter. And Doyle, he is a good guy. And you're like a brother to me, Pete.
It's Paul.
Oh, here he comes again. Okay, I'll let you two talk. Oh, FYI, if you ever need a paternity test switched, I know a guy.
Oh, okay. Great.
I mean, I just love those moments where there's this levity in the middle of, you know, something that's like very dire, soapy drama, and then there are these great comedic moments.
I'm happy you said that too, because I really loved having Misguided as a comedy in the first 2 seasons, and then the change that we did, we switched over to making it more of a drama, more of a soap opera melodrama. So I was very, very happy when Cynthia Watros played the waitress.
Yes,
Um,
it was
where
hysterical.
she was like, is it possible to have her be a little kooky? And I was like, yeah, I don't have like, I mean, aside from Breeze, who is this larger than life, like kooky character, I didn't have any of those like levity moments as much because we were making it a drama. So I think it really gave it a nice like touch to have like just a little bit of humor sprinkled.
It was so great. And yeah, to see what Cynthia took from, you know, what you gave her on the page, and then the fact that you just gave her that artistic freedom and creative freedom with that direction. And I remember laughing. And it's always so funny to have those moments where I'm really like feeling it, because, you know, once you have gone through the process of reading it and, you know, you've worked through it and we've, you know, done edits, we've done kind of the hard work, you know, at the beginning before you get into the filming process with the actors and all, to just still have that moment move you, even though you expect it to be there, or, you know, or there's something there that you didn't expect to be there that's fantastic, is always great. So that was one of those times across this.
And being able to see it from the page to the screen, and then even as I'm I sort of I'm able to see it evolve into
just finding those little beats. It's so funny.
So is there a particular scene that you might we could pause and we'll highlight it or something? Is there a scene that stands out as a favorite?
Oh my goodness.
It's okay if you don't. I mean,
because now that you've asked me about it, now all I can think of is Susan Cucci. So and that's completely different than any of the others that I said. So I would say probably the first time that we meet Susan Cucci was like one of my favorites.
I have to hurt you. Really? Please, like you could hurt me? Oh my gosh. Paul, calm down. Allow me to introduce myself to you. I am the one, the only Susan Cucci. Susan Cucci? You heard that right. Susan Cucci. And just like you, I came to Hollywood on a wig and a prayer.
Like
moments. Yeah, I really liked that. Because it's also like, how is she coming into this? Like, what is her role in this going to end up being about? But also, she's just hysterical. I mean, you can't beat Susan Cucci.
I don't know if you're saying that only because you have seen season 4 scripts, but I'm very happy with the inclusion. I'm very happy with the inclusion of Susan Cucci. I just think she's this like weird thing that lived in my mind for a hot second, and I was like, I think I need to put her in this show in some capacity. And I think exploring who she is next season is kind of cool.
Yes.
And spoiler alert, I guess. But speaking of Susan Cucci, and she has evolved from this, you know, Susan Lucci-esque fantasy, I guess. Have you ever met Susan Lucci?
Oh yes. I have met Susan Lucci a few times. And every time, you know, her husband was nearby. Helmet, we loved Helmet. And he would always be like, "Hi girls," when our group would come up, you know, and just was so sweet. And I think one time we maybe had him take a group picture. Did I make that up? I think
no, and I wasn't there.
Oh, were you not there for that one?
Oh, was that like a CVS or a Walmart or something?
Yes, it was. It was a really random, I think it was a Walmart maybe, but it was, he was there and he took our picture, and I'm pretty sure that was my Christmas card that year.
Yeah. It was definitely in the winter because I was home, and I was back home in Vermont, and there was snow, and there was no way for obviously me to get back.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed. It ended up being in like a magazine.
Yeah, it was it was a picture of travel. But yeah, he was always so funny because he was always right there with her. And I just loved their relationship. But she was always, you know, we always loved this very soapy, but also kind of glam, old-fashioned, like, you know, presentation that she would give. And she always had her shoulders back. She was very proper. And she was so regal. And I remember that's what kind of got me into All My Children when I was very, very young, was watching Susan Lucci with my grandmother. And she would always be like, "That Eric Kane is so fancy," you know, and I just always remember that. So every time I would meet her, I would be like, "Oh, Mimi would love this." It was great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. She's a really special actress, I think. And I think she can do a lot, which is really cool. And I'm excited to see what project she's on next. If she's going to be part of the Pine Valley reboot.
Right? Oh, I'm excited.
Pretty cool. Okay, I think I think I've asked a bunch of the questions that I really wanted to ask. Is there something that you really hope for? I know you've seen the scripts, but to happen in Misguided? Like, is there something you're like, oh, I a soap opera trope maybe that you're like, oh, I hope he does this, or I hope he does this?
I think I need a teen summer romance at some point. Like random arbitrary, like they'll come on, they'll have their romance for like an episode, that takes place during the summer, and then they'll be sent away and we'll never see them again. And then a few years from now, they'll become huge actors. As is often the case for the summer romance people. I'm talking Alexandra Daddario, Josh Duhamel was supposed to come on for the summer, and then
Michael B. Jordan,
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, like the list goes on. If you ever brought on for the summer, that was our dream job. And then, yeah, they went off to great things. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, Laura, I am so happy that you have stopped and chatted with me about this. This has been kind of cool. I'm like, I feel like I'm sort of like settling into this now. Like, who's next? Who's our next guest today?
Yeah, right. Bring them all in. Yeah.
But no, I can't thank you enough. Do you want to tell people where they could find you on the internet or wherever or whatever you would like?
Sure. Good question. I think I'm Lab13 on Instagram or Twitter, or Laura Ashley 13. I don't know. Look up both of them. See if you see me.
I'll probably end up editing something and putting it down, down here.
Put it at the bottom.
Down wherever you are, down there.
I'll just say watermelon a bunch, and then you can edit over that. Yes. Find me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on there sometimes.
I mean, if you only want people to find you.
Yeah, that's fine. I need to be more social on those things. So yeah, absolutely. Find me.
Perfect. Well, I'm Cosmopolitan pretty much on every social media. And thank you, Laura, for being our first guest. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out Misguided, misguidedtheseries.com, or right here on this YouTube channel. Trying to figure out this outro, but I think that sort of works. And
stay tuned for season 4.
Or hopefully we can film soon.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, yes. As long as we can do it this year, which would be really nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna end the recording and hold on.